As the Sapphire Princess docks in Naples, Italy, come join me as I show you how to conveniently and inexpensively leave the city and head down the coast to beautiful Sorrento, one of the jewels in the crown of the Amalfi Coast. Good morning, it is day 7 and we're in Naples, Italy. I am heading to Sorrento today. I'm doing it DIY style, so I'm going to be going on the ferry. So come with me to find out what that's going to be like. Weather-wise, it looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. So I think I can leave the rain jacket and the umbrella on the ship, and hopefully we get sunshine, blue skies, dry, warm, just what you want. So come along, find out how it all goes. Disembarking into pleasant morning sunshine was certainly a welcome change after much of the disappointing weather that we've had for the rest of this cruise. On leaving the ship in Naples, it's always a real treat to get that first view of Mount Vesuvius. Now, once disembarked from the ship, you're always required to walk through the terminal building, although it would be much quicker to just walk along the side of it. You have to head to the upper level and you'll find a wide selection of shops there, and then you have to go back down to the ground level where you'll actually exit the building. The area immediately at the front is the pickup point, typically for shore excursions, and a short distance beyond that you will find the port gate. From there you will find taxi stands, or you can also head towards the left hand side towards the ferry dock, and that's where I'm heading this morning. From disembarking the ship to actually joining the queue for my ferry ride to Sorrento took less than 10 minutes. I had purchased my tickets online in advance and I arrived as boarding commenced, which is typically about 15 minutes before departure. Now don't panic if the queues look enormous. They are quite lengthy, but as I have learned from doing this on a previous occasion, going to another location, Capri, and you can check out that vlog separately, there's actually plenty of room on board the fast craft vessels for everyone. I'm doing my own shore excursion today, although interestingly the same ferry system is used by those doing shore excursions organised through the ship. The most convenient timings, I'm actually using 2 different ferry companies to go to and from Sorrento. So for this outbound journey this morning, I'm using the NLG ferry line. Now the cost of the tickets each way is €18.50. The journey time took just 45 minutes, with Sorrento being the first stop on a more extensive route that heads further along the Amalfi Coast. Sailing was on schedule, arriving at the dock in Sorrento at 10:45. Now, as the dock is on a considerably lower level than the main town itself, there are a few options to actually get up to the main town. So if you're feeling particularly energetic, you can head to start the climb on the multiple steep sets of steps. Alternatively, you can make your way and you will come to the lift which takes you to the municipal gardens at that upper level, or alternatively you can take the local bus. Now that's exactly what I did. You do need cash, cards are not accepted, and it costs €2 per journey. After less than 5 minutes journey time, the drop-off point for this shuttle bus is at Piazza San Antonino. That's all of about a 1-minute walk from the very central area on Corso Italia. As I've been to Sorrento a couple of times before, I had given myself about 3.5 hours to just have a pleasant wander with no particular plan for exploration. It's always fun to check out the narrow shopping streets where you'll find a good selection of authentically produced gifts and treats. You'll find plenty of Italian leather goods, handmade jewellery, ceramic goods, locally produced pasta, handmade chocolate, and pretty much every possible product that you could possibly think of made from lemon. Now I found actually that many of the retailers were keen to offer samples of their food produce, particularly the chocolates and limoncello, and surprisingly they did it in a really pleasant manner with no high pressure sales tactics. Considering that it's Easter Saturday, I'm really surprised that it's not busier. Having been here before in, I think it was probably a couple of times in June and also in October, it was insanely busy along this street at that stage. So today it's actually quite pleasant, no crowds. So subject to getting decent weather, which obviously you can't control, springtime is definitely a good time to visit Sorrento. Of course, when in Italy, it is almost a crime not to sample some of their gorgeous gelato and enjoy it while watching the world go by. Now, being Easter Saturday, it also felt appropriate to pay a visit to a church, and I was just in time to hear the end of a practice. Interestingly, if you find yourself in Sorrento on a future Easter Saturday and plan to visit any of the churches in the town, I found that they all closed to the public at about 1 p.m, and I think that was specifically because of the particular day. As I made my way along Corso Italia, which is essentially the main street in Sorrento, I was really impressed at how this has been improved since my last visit. At that time, it was a standard street dominated by cars driving through, whereas now it has become a very pleasant, entirely pedestrianised area. It's completely changed the atmosphere and it really enhances this lovely town even more. There are plenty of public seating areas along the street, some of them with nice degree of shade with the tree cover, and also there are several buskers performing at various locations. Back towards the main square, which is Piazza Tasso, you can opt to take a carriage ride, or on this particular instance you could also enjoy a good old-fashioned Punch and Judy show Italian style. Now, despite the blue skies and the very welcome warmth of today's sunshine, as you can see from the trees here, it is very much still pretty early spring. Now, if you're in the market to treat yourself and splurge while on a visit to Sorrento, you may want to make an advance reservation for a Michelin star dining experience at the 5-star Excelsior Vittoria Hotel, which is right in the centre. Now, I only got a glimpse from the entry. I'm not a Michelin star type person, and I don't cruise on a budget that would go with a Michelin star diner. I didn't get any further as it appears to only be open to those who have a reservation. It appeared to provide beautiful grounds to explore right in the heart of Sorrento, and I know that it also overlooks the Bay of Naples. As it approached time for my return ferry, I decided to make my way to the lift which would take me back down to the level of the ferry dock. Or would it? En route, there was a chance to experience the beauty of the municipal garden and its fantastic views over the coastline. Now, unfortunately, as I approached the lift, my plan was derailed. It wasn't operating due to maintenance issues today, and in the absence of having any idea about the timetable for the shuttle bus back down to the dock, there was nothing for it but to begin the hike down those steps. Now, in actual fact, going down was fine. It only took about 5 minutes, but certainly not something that could be done by somebody with mobility problems. My return trip was on another fast craft. This time it was the Ali Loro Ferry Company, and unlike the morning experience when the vessel had been pretty busy, this one definitely was not. There was plenty choice of seats. It was a comfortable and calm 45-minute journey back to Naples, and also for context, you can see here from the ferry dock, there's the Sapphire Princess just immediately in view. So it's now just after 3 p.m. and I have returned from the ferry from Sorrento. So from my balcony, it's just right over there. So really convenient. Probably a lot more convenient, I would say, than going on the train, and a really pleasant way. Luckily, the sea was calm this morning and this afternoon. I think it's probably best to arrive in Sorrento in the morning as early as you possibly can. It was wonderfully quiet, calm in comparison to other times that I've been there in the morning time. By lunchtime, the crowds had started to arrive, and it was definitely a case of jostling for a position along the narrow little streets and alleyways. If you've seen one of my vlogs from a previous port stop in Naples, and that was on the Majestic Princess, you'll know that I really don't like the city of Naples itself. However, after exploring further afield, I always love returning to the ship to spend time on my balcony, watching this really busy stretch of water, as there's just so many vessels coming and going all the time. It was a pretty punctual departure just after 6 p.m, and from my balcony on the starboard side there was a really good view of the manoeuvres of the pilot boat. It must really take a very brave person to spend their working days hopping back and forth between that very little boat and the very big vessels that they're tasked with guiding out of the harbour. After enjoying the sunset views from the aft of the ship, dinner for me was in the buffet. Now, this was actually the first time that I've had dinner here for the entire 7 days, and honestly, if I had been staying on board longer, I don't think I would have made a return visit for dinner. The actual food area itself on the Sapphire Princess here is, well, relative to some of the newer Princess ships, it's extremely confined and congested. Now, the special selection of Easter cakes and desserts were undoubtedly proving very popular this evening. As is usually my habit in trying to leave packing until the very last minute, I sampled some of the entertainment on board. So for this final night, that included a vocalist who was doing a candlelight performance in Club Fusion. And if I should falter, there's no learning, life's okay. Say after me, there's no better to be sad than sorry. Take on me. A lively performer in Crooner's Lounge. I then checked out the Piazza, where the Do You Wanna Dance competition had been abandoned, apparently due to lack of participant interest, and instead I headed from there to the theatre for the final night farewell variety performance. This was a combination of performances from the production cast, singers and dancers, and also from some of the guest acts who had been on board during the week. Now, I didn't hear any copyright announcement, so I think it might be okay to show you just a few snippets.
What about these fine musicians behind me, everybody? They're Sapphire Princess. How's them? Thank you very much. Hearts start trembling whenever you're around. My little baby says I can do it with ease. It's easier to love than your ABCs. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. It's impossible to dream. Yeah, I will reach.
Good morning from Civitavecchia, Italy. So that's otherwise known as the Port of Rome, albeit that it's an hour away from Rome. So the cruise has come to an end and it's time to depart. Now, as I'm actually staying on land in Italy for the next few days before boarding another cruise at the end of the week, I wasn't in any particular hurry this morning. So I left the ship at a leisurely pace. I always do self-disembarkation, and I boarded a bus to take me to the train station. So if you're interested in ideas on how to spend some pre or post cruise time in this part of Italy, do consider following along on the channel and subscribing. That way you'll be notified when the next vlogs come out. I'll be doing a wrap-up review of this cruise and giving you my honest thoughts on the Sapphire Princess and detailing how much it cost me in a mini suite as a solo cruiser. I will also be doing a few vlogs of my experience on land in Italy, including visits to Rome, and showing you what it's like to stay in Civitavecchia, which had some pleasant surprises, and I'll also provide useful information on transport options. As always, if you've enjoyed this, please do hit the like button. And as always, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.